As he said, though, we did this live 3-day event, but it was the first 30 minutes all this stuff took place, literally, and put it to work right away, and it was making money before the end of the event. It wasn't like those events where you go to and they plan it out for 5 weeks in advance, they line up 10 people to mail for you. No, it's none of that stuff. Just something my clients could use right away to put up themselves, and that's what this all is. So we'll get to what we can get to before I leave. WordPress, wordpress.org. Like I said, if you need themes, themes.wordpress.net. Now, some themes will allow you to remove the attribution link, which means the guy who, when I say guy, it applies to men and women, the guy who puts it together, puts his link to his website, says themebyjoe.com. So you have to read the attribution rights when you use a theme. Some themes say you can remove the link, some themes say you can't. So I don't worry about it. If there's a link in it, I don't care. I tested years ago, started testing the fact about people said you couldn't have outgoing links on your website, and if you did, you'd lose your rankings. No, I found the opposite to be true. And in fact, now I think we've all learned that Google actually is looking to make sure that there's outgoing links in your websites, whether it's a landing page for AdWords or if it's a site itself ranking well. That doesn't mean you can't control the flow within the site, but if you don't have any outgoing links on your websites, that's a good sign to them that something funny is going on. So just keep that in mind. So a lot of people say they don't want to use free themes because they have outgoing links. Well, I don't care. I mean, as long as he doesn't have 50 links on it. If there's one link at the bottom, that's fine. We'll give him attribution. So we hired a team of programmers to do templates for us. We were paying them between testing and developing. It was $7,500 a month. So if you want to hire your own team, you can do it for $7,500, or you can get some for free. So the choice, choice is yours. It's up to you guys. WordPress.org/extend/plugins. Plugins are the little tools within WordPress that just make your blog that much better. That's all a plugin is. People make plugins for free. You plug it into your WordPress blog, and it does something that the standard WordPress won't. Now, that's the best I can do to explain it right now. I'll show you some of the stuff that we use. Some of the plugins that we use, one's called All-in-One SEO Pack. That takes it and it creates specialized title tags for you. It creates comment descriptions for you. You can tell it whether you want to have your special pages indexed or no indexes. It does a bunch of different things all rolled into one. It's very simple. So instead of doing it yourself, there's a free program. It's All-in-One SEO Pack. It's a WordPress plugin. If you search for it, you'll find it. Go to that site. You'll see that I just gave you to it, WordPress. Ascimet is now in by default. It really does a good job. Ascimet is an anti-spam plugin. You have to register to get a key for it, but it's free. Once you get the key one time, you can plug the same key into all your blogs. It protects your sites from spam. It has done a wonderful job for us, and in fact, now it is part of the default installation with WordPress. But you still have to go out and get yourself a key for it to work. So just because it's in there, get the key. Ascimet, anti-spam. Next thing is called the anti-spam image. All that is for the comment sections of the web blogs. That makes somebody, there's a little box that says, see this image, type that image into this box before we allow you to post to our website. It's just an image challenge. It cuts down on spam once again, so it's just another layer of spam control for us. It's called anti-spam image. Another one that we use is called Feed WordPress. That's a very important one. That's one that allows you to aggregate feeds from different RSS feeds and publish to your blog. My guys hacked together something that works with it beyond that. I don't know what it, not quite sure what it is, but Feed WordPress aggregates RSS feeds from different blogs and publishes it to your own site. And it's free too. Google XML sitemaps, when they announced it, the day they announced it, I told my clients we were going to start work on a program for Google XML sitemaps. By the time we were done, this guy came out with it. This is the third version now. This is years ago. And I've been using his instead for the last couple of years instead of our own because it's really good. And if you do a search for Google XML Sitemaps WordPress plugin, you'll find it. The guy's name is Archibald, I believe. He's in the third version of it. Sitemaps are very, very important. Tested time and time again. Sitemaps are important on any site that you build. Whether you want to use an XML sitemap or a static sitemap, the choice is yours. We use both. But if you're using a WordPress blog, we just default to the Google XML Sitemaps plugin because it works really well for us. Another one that's somewhat redundant called IMM Keywords. If you use the All-in-One SEO Pack, you may not need the IMM Keywords plugin, but you may choose not to use the All-in-One SEO Pack. If you choose not to use the all-in-one SEO pack, then you want to use IMM keywords. IMM keywords just produces keywords for your posts and your pages. This top one here includes that functionality. So if you're using the top one, folks, you don't need to use IMM keywords. If you do use both of them at the same time, you'll have 2 sets of title tags on every page. Is that clear to everyone? Use one or the other. By mistake, some of my guys are using both. We have 2 sets of title tags. Last one down here is called Sociable. Sociable. You do a search for Sociable plugin. It's listed in the WordPress plugin site, so you'll find it there. Any questions about these plugins before we move on? Sociable, I'll show you a picture. It's the little tags for the social networking sites. Dig, Stumble Upon, Regjet. You push a link and it says post it to Stumble Upon. It takes wherever it is and posts it there for you. We already talked about this. It all starts with a post. When you have a WordPress blog or any blog, you make a post that sends out a ping. A ping is just a notification to the search engines that you've added something to your website. Please come over and check it out. That whole blog and ping thing, when I spoke at John's event, I talked about how I noticed they had this thing called a ping inside of a blog, but I didn't know what it did. But I said, well, if they're sending a signal out, who's listening? If you're sending out a signal, who's listening? And that's when I started setting up tests, and we found 12 or 15 search engines would hit that website within as few as a few minutes. And this is 4 years ago, and now you get 100 different things coming to your website. But the ping just lets the search engines know that you put something on your blog, and the search engines that care about that will then come and visit the website. So it all starts with a blog. It all starts with a post. That's it. Any questions about pinging? Your blog does it for you automatically. There is, built by default into WordPress, something that's called Ping-O-Matic. When you install WordPress, by default, it has a service that's called Ping-O-Matic built into it. What Ping-O-Matic does is, when you publish to your blog, it then takes your notification and it sends it, relays it to another 10 or 12 different websites that are waiting to hear about pings. The problem with that is if you ping too often, or if they don't like your IP address, they will shut your service down. So you'll be published to your website, but they won't be forwarding your ping to anyone. So if you rely on Ping-O-Matic, which is in there by default, you might want to change that. If you just search for ping list on the internet, you'll find people, including myself, that have compiled lists of dozens and dozens of the individual services with the direct ping URLs. Find a list that you like, drop that into your blog instead of Ping-O-Matic. Any questions about that? All right. I don't have a screenshot. Like I said, I can only show so many things. But the ping itself goes out to the search engines. WordPress has a service built into it called Ping-O-Matic. They take your ping and they relay it to 10 or 12 other ping search engines. But if Ping-O-Matic goes down, or Ping-O-Matic decides that they don't like you for some reason, they will never forward your ping to the other services, which means you're not pinging anyone at that point. So your business then is dependent upon someone else for them to relay that. So you can eliminate that problem by searching for ping lists on the internet, and they'll give you a big list of pings, and you drop that into your WordPress blog instead. And there's an area inside WordPress that you can add that. Okay. Did I skip something?